on board Norwegian Joy, our penultimate day of our cruise, day number 11. And back to back, we've gone day at sea.
Up there?
Yes.
Oh, good.
C for sealing. Good job. Let's go ahead and get it started. Much more fun on board today of the Norwegian Joy. Day number 11 begins right now.
I know that's really the sea.
As we mentioned previously, this is our first Norwegian sailing, and since it's the 11th day and we've been on the ship for quite a while now, we thought it might be good if the focus of today's video was revolved around our overall thoughts of Norwegian as a cruise line, how we felt about sailing with them, and specific things that we like and maybe don't like as much about Norwegian and how it operates.
Well, that's just great, because I've been keeping a list of how I feel about all the things on board, and I've checked it not twice, but thrice.
No, Rexy, not how you feel about Norwegian, how we feel about Norwegian.
Well, don't I feel sheepish? What's the matter, Rexy? Never had mutton?
Now that we have everything all straightened out with Rexy, one thing we definitely want to talk about in terms of talking about Norwegian in general is talking about Norwegian's internet and how it has been for us.
Well, let's start with the pricing. I think for us, we had 2 devices on the premium Wi-Fi, which is their upper level, unlimited amount of usage instead of being restricted to minutes. And for our 12-day cruise, that came in, if I'm remembering correctly, at about $800, $900, somewhere right around there. And this is obviously a longer cruise at 12 nights, so it is going to be a bit more. And I haven't totally broken it down day by day, but that does feel like more than we would normally pay with other cruise lines. However, that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue by far has been the inconsistency, how often the internet doesn't work, how often it just completely disconnects, like you won't even be shown connected to Wi-Fi anymore, or how often it does this. I was literally just using this, put it away, pulled it back out, and now look, I'm logged off, so I have to hit go online again, re-log in, and all that kind of stuff. It's quite annoying. Now, some minor inconsistencies would be fine. Having to re-log in or whatever, while it might be annoying, would be fine, but there's been long periods where the internet just wasn't available or wasn't working at all.
Yeah, like the quality has been really inconsistent. Like when it's working good, it works really good. Like we're able to stream shows and stuff via Roku and like, you know, videos on the phone. It has worked good when it's working good. When it's not working so good, it's like you're not doing anything. You're not pulling up Instagram, you're not pulling up emails, web browser, nothing.
Nada.
So it's been really inconsistent. When it's good, it's good. When it's not good, it's not good.
So all in all, we would just like a little bit more smooth sailing when it comes to the Wi-Fi.
I see what you did there.
So Wi-Fi, a little bit of a down, but let's talk about something that has been a major up.
Oh yes.
And that big ups has been the food, especially this place right here. Open 24 hours a day, included with the cruise fare. Delicious, delicious food. Now, we showed you the local. In fact, we showed it on boarding day, the day we got on board the ship.
And we've been here so many times, and it's been so good every time. But there's like a cruising core dining location we haven't showed you yet. So let's go eat there for lunch today.
Let's blue skidoo right into these utensils. Dun 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 dun. It's the buffet. The sign doesn't say.
Garden Cafe!
So we haven't shown it yet. So let's head inside, grab some lunch, and kind of show you, give you an idea of some of the food you might be able to grab in the Garden Cafe. Oh, and something important to point out as we get started here is that it's not too busy right now because we're at the end of lunch service, but other times we've come in here for breakfast or lunch, it has been so busy that we could not even find a single seat or table available in the entire restaurant, which is wild. More on that in the crowds later. For now, let's look at the food. And I should point out that breakfast and lunch every day are pretty much the same kind of things. They might switch up a couple things here or there. Dinner is where you'll see the big changes. Every night they have a themed dinner. So it might be a country western menu, Italian menu, Asian menu, different things like that. So right when you come in and at various points throughout the establishment, you will find the drink station, ice and water right there. Fresh lemons always available. And then you're gonna have iced tea, lemonade, tropical mango, and strawberry kiwi flavored water. Those are available at lunch and dinner. At breakfast, they switch those out for juices, and those are all complimentary included with your cruise fare, as is the coffee, standard and decaf. They also have things to make make tea, hot chocolate, and stuff like that. And the buffet is laid out like a lot of other buffets are, where the food service stations are located centrally in the restaurant, and then the perimeter is the seating with the floor-to-ceiling windows, so you can look out at the ocean. The biggest difference to me with this buffet versus other cruise ships is that it's located in the front of the ship, normally found in the aft. So to give you an idea of some of the food here, burger bar, they've got French fries, and Norwegian has really good fries, by the way. Hot dogs, hamburgers, you know, stuff like that. They're always gonna have mac and cheese, might do some different flavors. Right now they've got some fajita spiced peppers and chili con carne, things like that, and then all your toppings over here. Pizza station right here, and unfortunately, I would have to rank this pizza as the worst I've had on a cruise ship. Now, it's not terrible because it's still pizza, but as I consider myself a pizza connoisseur, I have to say Norwegian's pizza just does not hit the mark. It could definitely be a lot better. I love pizza a lot, but I also love ice cream, and this is an area Norwegian wins. They have several soft serve machines available here in the buffet, and they also do hand scooped ice cream as well. You can get it in a bowl, or you can get it in a cone. Salad bar is always a big feature, different kinds of greens, different kinds of toppings. Right now they're also using it as like a nacho and taco bar. I guess that's the theme for today. Different other kind of mixed salads available, stuff like that. In the evening for dinner, this is usually a traditional salad bar, so the different, again, beds of greens you can use, cheeses, toppings, meats, salad dressings, things like that. They usually have a pasta station every day for lunch and dinner as well. They do different kinds of pastas to switch out, like this is with clams and cherry tomatoes. The different sauces, they usually have like a spaghetti or linguine, something like that, and then different toppings like cheese. And then over here, they'll have like a hot entree area. This switches out daily, so depending on what the theme is, like right now, sweet potato burritos, bacon, sausage and cheese quesadilla, vegetables, lasagna, things like that. And then they have a soup station that switches out daily as well. They also have a fruit station with different fruits available, freshly sliced, as well as a dessert station. The pastry cases here, different cakes, different pies. I already mentioned the ice cream that you can get as well, and they'll have different breads here. Something fun to point out is that they do have cookies, but they're not like out where you can get them. You have to ask. They keep them back there in the oven, and the flavors do switch out daily. A couple of our smaller but yet favorite features of the buffet here on Norwegian Joy. One, that they put these out at every table, so you have your silverware, napkins, and your condiments right there at your table, which is really nice. And two, that they offer booth seating, which is very comfortable.
Look, the nacho bar had cilantro, so I got all of it. No, not all of it, but a lot of it. The nachos are really good, and really, honestly, everything that we've had in the buffet has been really, really good, except for the pizza.
That's the low point. But not just the buffet, everywhere, honestly.
Yeah.
The food has been a very pleasant surprise.
The free food, too.
Yes.
Like, of course, the specialty food has been, like, pretty decent, but honestly, like, I don't think you need to go to the specialty restaurants because the free food is really good.
Especially the local.
Especially the local. The buffet is good, too, but the local is top-notch.
Now, one negative we've had, and maybe it's just this ship or class of ship, but it has been consistent, is how crowded places can get. The pool deck being chief among them, especially on these sea days. And I think you can find that to be at least somewhat true on most cruise ships, but it's really bad here on the Joy, especially this area on the sun deck up above when you try to walk through, because you have lounge chairs on either side. And people are walking this way, people are walking the other way. It gets very crowded. Another bad offender of being really crowded is the elevators. You wait forever to get an elevator on this ship, and they're always packed. It's kind of weird. You know, elevators are typically very busy on like boarding day on other ships, but then it chills out. But here, it's been consistent. Everywhere you go, it's very crowded. And I think that's interesting to note because, like I said, it could just be the ship, but I think it might be something with Norwegian in general. This sailing, because it's a 12 night in the middle of the school year, does not have many kids or teenagers on it. So a lot of the rooms that would be normally booked at triple or quad occupancy, or maybe even 5 people, are only booked by couples. So we're not even near full capacity, and yet everywhere you go feels very crowded. So I'm not sure how we feel about that. Something that's kind of more on the negative side, but something we felt was important to point out. Now, one thing that hasn't been very crowded are the activities.
And there's a good reason why those have not been very crowded.
Fret not, it's not the quality of the activities that's the issue.
It's because a lot of activities on board Norwegian Joy require an additional cost in order to participate in them. Like the laser tag that we did yesterday was $10 a person per pop, as well as the VR games that we played yesterday in the Galaxy Pavilion. Those were $8 per person per play.
And then of course there is the Speedway, the go-karts on board, the electric go-karts, which cost $15 per person per ride if you're paying individual and not with an unlimited pass. Now we found it a little harder to justify the cost of the laser tag just because we're used to it being free on Royal Caribbean, but it was still fun. This, however, the Speedway, I think you gotta do it.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about the VR games. Like, they go by so fast, it's kind of hard to justify $8 per play. But the Speedway, I think, is totally worth the money, super fun, and it's like really unique. Like, nobody else has that on a cruise ship, and I like that.
It's cool. Now, if you don't feel like taking a financial plunge for your activities, the water slides are included. This drop slide called the Ocean Loops that ends up going uphill. What? That's for free. And the Aqua Racer tube slide, which you can do as a single or a double, and it's a lot of fun. Go around in the tube, on a tube. Double slide action. And if you're not feeling up for sliding and you're a little bit younger, then you can take advantage of the splash play area, complete with rope bridge, rope climb, its own tube body slide, and a big bucket that dumps a lot of water. So there you go. You can see all of the water activities from this spot, all included all the time.
So if we're kind of comparing the activities on like Norwegian, at least on this ship, to like other cruises we've been on, like Royal or even like Carnival Mardi Gras or something like that, I will say you have to pay extra for some of the more major activities than you would on other ships. Now other ships like Royal and Carnival, you still have to pay extra for like Bolt, the coaster on Carnival, or escape rooms on Royal or something like that, but it doesn't happen as often as Norwegian. So, you know, I would rather have more stuff included. I will say I'll pay for the racetrack every day, but you know, it's kind of hard when you're getting stuff for free on other cruise lines, but you're not on this one.
Now, one thing that has been absolutely consistent throughout all departments and avenues is guest service. And I don't just mean here at the guest services desk. Our stateroom attendant, our dining staff servers, the activities team, everyone we have interacted with has been just exceptional. And the service level is usually great on most cruise ships, but here on Norwegian it has really been above and beyond, so we really have to tip our cap to them. In other words, if you've got any Q's, they'll give you all the A's you need. And once again, it's showtime. Now, we saw Footloose earlier in the cruise, but tonight we have an original production called Elements. And we can't film the actual show itself, but here's the setup before it begins. It's a little spooky in here. And even though we walked in 2 minutes before showtime, we were able to get a front row seat? What? Other cruise lines take note. To me, that's how you do an original production.
So based on the name, Elements, you could probably figure out like it's based on the elements of the world, like earth, wind, fire, water. And then it was a lot of like interpretive dance based off of that. Magician act that was very good. Acrobatic act.
Aerial acrobatics. Yeah.
Very, very cool. They did it very well. It's actually, it was a 50-minute show, and it's kind of surprising how much they put into that amount of time.
You got to see it in person, though. My biggest regret for this cruise now is that we didn't go last night as well, and then tonight again, because I thought it was that good.
Well, it's also one of those shows based on like where you sit in the audience. You get a different perspective of the show, and I'll leave it at that. But I think those kind of shows are cool.
I thought it was outstanding. It was not traditional by any means. It wasn't, there was no dialogue. It was just singing, and a lot of the singing was like choir, harmonic style.
It wasn't lyrics, it was sound.
Yeah, but it was beautiful, and oh man, they killed it.
It was really all the entertainment on
the ship has been really good. I loved this. I loved Footloose.
We haven't caught the Beatles thing in the Cavern Club, but it gets packed and people rave about it. So
yeah, it's like a Beatles cover band, and people rave about it. We didn't catch it, but overall, I would say that Norwegian is kind of killing it with the entertainment.
we don't typically go for main dining rooms on cruises, but the food's been so good on Norwegian, we thought we might as well try one. The Manhattan room is one of 3 main dining rooms on the Joy, in addition to Taste and Savor. Those are basically mirror images right across from each other, but the Manhattan is all the way here in the back of the ship, has a little bit different design to it, so we're gonna give this a go. Hey, it's pretty nice in here. I like the style.
You want to know what I like?
What?
We got our own table.
That's right. Here's a look at tonight's menu in the Manhattan.
Madam, only 3 of you, right? Only 3 of you?
Yes.
Oh, I'm definitely digging the outer part of the menu. I want to be a part of it. All right, getting started with the appetizers and the soups and the salads. Looks like you've got a garden salad there with like a gravy boat of dressing.
It's balsamic vinaigrette.
And I got the cheese ravioli with a lobster sauce, which I'm very excited about. And Chelsea's dad got the French onion soup with the melted cheese on top, of course. And you also got the sausage gnocchi.
Yeah, it's hard to turn down some gnocchi.
And then I also got the tortellini soup. Tortellini? Main courses are up. Chelsea's dad went with the 5-cheese ziti, and I went with the grilled pineapple chicken.
It looks like it's half of a bird. It's a rotisserie chicken with mashed potatoes and broccoli.
Yeah, loaded up there. And a quick look at the dessert menu for tonight. And dessert, I went with the plain vanilla ice cream. Boring. Yours is a lot prettier.
Mine has some pizzazz and color. It's a raspberry chocolate torte, and it's tortally beautiful. Get it?
I have good news and bad news with the dining tonight.
Oh boy.
The bad news is it was my least favorite food we've had on this cruise.
Okay.
I thought it was the lowest level, right?
Okay.
The good news is there's so much other good food on board that's free and included even that it doesn't matter.
I liked what I got, I think, more than what you got.
Yeah, mine was, the chicken was dry and it's not that good.
What I got, I thought was like better than Royal's main dining room.
Okay. To me, it was
It was about even.
I still don't like main dining rooms.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
Mine, I felt like it was better, but I mean, it's one meal versus we've had a lot more on Royal, so it's kind of hard to make that comparison.
So hopefully you enjoyed kind of our recap of what we think of Norwegian Cruise Line so far.
And I'm gonna answer this because I know we're gonna be asked it, like how do you feel like Norwegian? Do you like it better than Royal? I think is probably the question we're gonna get asked the most.
Yeah, and quick disclaimer, in case you haven't watched our videos, you're like, why do you keep talking about Royal Caribbean? That's what we do the most of.
Right. So I personally, I think you feel the same way probably. I like Royal more, but I like Norwegian like a lot more than I thought I would, and it's like very comparable to Royal. It has a very similar vibe, and I would say I would definitely be willing to sail on Norwegian again. I'm not even gonna say that. We will be sailing on Norwegian again.
For sure.
Because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I've got Disney and Royal Caribbean higher. Norwegian's about with Carnival, but maybe a little higher. Depends. Some things yes, some things no, and then I like other cruises below that. So overall,
yeah, it's been a great cruise. We still have one more day tomorrow, so I'm not going to be like, oh, we had a great cruise. No, our cruise is still going. But I hope this video was helpful in giving like our thoughts about the cruise line in general with this one ship. And I'm very pleased with our experience with Norwegian so far. Some pros, some cons, but overall
would 1000% sail again, and we will.
And we will. And we do have an important piece of the puzzle still coming tomorrow, because we are stopping at Great Stirrup Cay, the private island of Norwegian Cruise Line. So we hope we will see you back for all of that action tomorrow, our final day here on the Norwegian Joy. Thanks for joining us again for today. As always, if you're interested in booking your own cruise travels, feel free to reach out via the travel agent information in the description of this video. It's completely free to use, so why not? All right, I think that wraps it up for today. We'll see you back tomorrow. Great Stirrup Cay in our final day. Until then, signing off, happy travel!